Hello, welcome to stream. I hope that you're all doing well. Where's my model? Oh, there we go. This Sinful Sunday. Sorry for the long pause. I was rearranging stuff from yesterday since I had to push quite a few things around to get everybody on screen. But we're here now and everything's fixed. Today we're checking out Technocrat, which is a game that was given to me by Vertebrae, who is in chat. Hello, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to play this game. So this is a demo of a game that's being released on itch.io in the future. It is a gay cyborg dating sim game, I do believe. And I do have the information there in chat for those of you who want to check that out as we are playing through it. The demo is about an hour long according to the information I have access to. So it's not going to be too long, but it is going to be a short and sweet look at what looks to be a very interesting game. So let's go ahead and get that going. Hello, hello, and welcome. Thank you so much for coming by. All right, I gotta see if it'll just show or if I have to do something special to get it to show. You never know sometimes. What's my favorite pizza ingredients? I like margarita pizza. But as I am gluten intolerant, I have to be very selective about pizza. All right, so I do have a trigger warning up at the top of the screen. I read that there is some gore in this game, so if gore is not something that you are comfortable with, I do not know exactly how much of it there is, so I do want to just urge you to take precautions as needed. To protect yourself from that. Just putting that out there. All right, so let's look at some of these options here. We can turn off the animated backgrounds if we want to. I think I'm going to leave them on for now, in case they are super problem. All right, let's get started. Ooh, dang. Damn. Oh, I saw a collar. That was pretty sexy. Oh, wow. It's a tad quiet. Yeah. It's a tad quiet on my end, too. I think that might be my fault, but I'll turn it up a bit. All right. Damn, auto update. Last week your vision worked just fine. Now it keeps restarting at random. There we go. Now, where were we? Chapter 1, Extropy. Ooh. The crowd pulsates with life, bouncing in time with the beat of the speakers. Hypnotizing lights flare above your head, dancing through smoke and glitter. You are drenched in sweat and alcohol, your body moving against countless strangers. Screams of ecstasy drowned out by droning bass lines that fill your mind until you can no longer think. Not even the occasional elbow to the face can stop your dance. Too lost and in love with the beautiful world, you move your body wildly to the music. Hours pass like minutes, and minutes like hours. In the booth, your altar of choice, stands the DJ. His fingers dance effortlessly across countless buttons and knobs, taking his audience from one high to another. His head bounces along with the rhythm. He raises his hand to the audience, bouncing in time with the crowd as the lights blink and pulse with warning. The energy is electrifying as the last mix reaches the apex of its buildup. In this moment, everyone shares everything: joy, rhythm, expectation. With the flick of his sliders, the DJ ends the excruciating wait for his audience, dropping them into another massive beat. You howl with approval, happily wailing your voice to shreds. Along with everyone, you raise your hands and dance with the shared power that may well shake the very foundations of this dim, dirty warehouse. In this cold city of glass and steel, La Boheme is a club that provides a much-needed splash of color. It attracts a clientele of vivid outcasts, many as destitute as yourself. To them, its glowing sign is the light at the end of a dark tunnel for many a week. Its warmth, the promise of forgetting reality and simply existing in the moment. Sure, a DJ spouting nonsense like One Love and Everybody Raise Your Hands in the heat of the moment is easy to make fun of, but in moments like these, you truly understand why euphoric is a trance genre. The night is still young. What will you do? Okay, we have some choices here. We can grab a drink at the bar, we can request a song from the DJ, or we can go to the quote-unquote bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. I'm interested in seeing why it's in quotations. Head, body, everything. It all throbs in time with the beat. Drunk on excitement and the smell of sweat, you stumble and trip your way over to the bathroom. This was the other thing that La Boheme was known for. Entering the dim room, you throw a glance toward the stalls. Your heart skips at the telltale sign of a manned office, 3 locked toilet stalls in a row. Tonight, there was a queue. You wait in line until the stall in front of you unlocks, and a satisfied-looking man scuttles quickly past you. What happens in the stalls stays in the stalls. You scuttle in, not making much of yourself. As you lock the door, you throw a glance at this particular piece of clubbing tradition. Unmanned for now, likely whoever was on the other side was busy with someone else. You're not usually one for something impersonal, but the thrill was, in many ways, in the anonymity itself. Struck with a moment of clarity, your mind flashes through the long history and ridiculous list of social codes necessary to result in a setup where one relies on holes in the stalls of the bathrooms. Thankfully, any coherent thought stops at a rustle on the other side of the wall, signals the return of its attendant. You unbuckle your belt, and time stops as the veil of anonymity is broken. You stare at him, and he stares back up at you. Well, now you feel ridiculous. Acutely aware of everything less than attractive about your current angle, you are deeply, thoroughly examined by the stranger on the other side. Likewise, you take him in. His eyes were quite strange, nothing unseen in the world of cybernetic enhancements, but no less enthralling, as though belonging to an elegant yet dangerous predator. Red sclera, crowned by piercing yellow irises, at their center, slit like a cat. Those thin pupils drill holes into your very soul as you remain wary of this breach of social code. Suddenly, he flashes a confident, smug grin at you, and reassures his interest in your participation by presenting his open mouth. Oh nice, it's a glory hole. It's lined with sharp, pristine fangs. How do you proceed? Let's go with caution, so that we don't injure ourselves in the bathroom. Truly, you are at his mercy tonight. You stumble back out of the bathroom, memory running wild with the sheer skill behind your anonymous encounter. You have a feeling you won't forget that deep, electrifying gaze anytime soon, much less his skill. The night is still young. What will you do? Alright, let's grab a drink from the bar. You wade through the wild crowd. The closer you get to the bar, the more the dancers split into groups of excitedly chattering friends. The more drinks per hand, the less movement to worry about. Approaching the busy bar, you do your best to understand how the queue works, before giving up and just standing close enough to the counter, hoping that the bartenders would eventually notice your wallet. After some pushing and shoving, you manage to attract the attention of a brick wall? On closer look, you're able to tell that this particular brick wall has arms and legs, the size of tree trunks, no less. Oh damn. That's the guy manning the bar? Holy crap. Presumably, he has hit his head as well, but the man behind the counter was so inhumanly tall it was hidden in the shade of the upper cabinets. His hands are calloused, dandrured with thick veins and scars. The smell of smoke hangs heavy around him. And yet his nails were painted a stark black, landing a vibe that this was a man who cared more about his looks than your average strongman. Hey, my nails are black. Your gaze travels up his chiseled, broad, hairy arms. You think you catch a glimpse of golden earrings through the dark. The tap of his massive fingers against the counter betray a sense of impatience. He had other customers to attend to. The sheer magnitude of this man was to the point where you forgot your order. Quick, order something cool and tough to impress him. Oh dear, I'm not a drinking person. I don't know anything about drinks. Let's order a blue Hawaii. He grunts. That is, you barely manage to utter it before someone falls onto you from behind. You as well stumble as the young man behind you impatiently grabs for the counter. At first you are annoyed, but then you feel a fist swinging right by your ear, aiming directly at his face. It makes contact, and his head is knocked against the counter. Your ears ring with the sudden violence. You pick something up. You pick up something about an owed sum from the unseen attacker behind you. What happens next is blindingly fast. A massive hand rushes out from behind the counter, over your head, neatly wrapping around the head of the attacker, before the entire man is effortlessly yanked over and behind the counter. The entire movement is firm, trained, and brutal in its efficiency. Now almost completely hidden behind that tree trunk of an arm restrained with a grip you've only seen used on unruly pets, you make a long, uncomfortable eye contact with the attacker, likely as taken off guard as you are. Meanwhile, the brick wall bartender uses his free hand to gingerly mix your cocktail. Well, at least he's still remembering. The bar area has gone quiet, and the screaming, dancing crowd seemed miles away. He sets the drink down in front of you, crowning his work with an umbrella so small in his hands it bordered on ridiculous, and a slice of freshly cut pineapple. You have never paid for a drink faster in your life. You take your purchase and leave, backing away from the counter as the chattering of the groups around you pick back up. Who was that? Had this sheer brick shithouse always worked here? And more importantly, would you see him again? Strangely, or perhaps understandably, you hope so. Alright, let's request a song from the DJ. You know what would really hit the spot right now? Some Art Brothers. Usually you settle for the DJ's hand-picked selections, and are happy to move with whatever is on the menu for the evening. But tonight you decide to brave the storm of people on the floor and approach the booth. The crowd lines even the staircase to the stage. You squeeze your way past them, thinking through how you're even going to communicate your wish through the blasting music. Your eyes seek the figure at the center of it all. He's practically luminescent. The stage lights dance with him, reflecting through his wispy white hair. You can feel his focus, his wide pupiled gaze locked onto the deck as his long, bony fingers rhythmically slide and tamper with the music. He moves like a man possessed. With practiced elegance, he plays with the various levels of the song, bending the entire club to his will. Your heart hammers in your chest as you fixate on the sweat beating off his forehead, raining off of him like falling stars. Your gaze trails down to his slender frame as the shirt lifts with his arms, revealing just enough midriff to make a man forget his entire train of thought. He starts transitioning into a new song, playfully sliding between the tracks while slowly deconstructing the layers. Cut, loop, slowly raising the pitch, slowly raising the pitch still. Surely it can't go much higher? The club quiets down in confusion. The DJ seems to have stopped at the apex of the build-up, and the speakers steadily edge closer to peaking. Oh, he's edging the music. Interesting. Sweat pours off his trembling, slowly tilting form as he stares blankly, wide-eyed out into nothing. What do you do? Let's wait it out. Let's trust the guy. You can't tell what's going on. Maybe this is part of the set? The song keeps building, and the speakers start complaining. The DJ remains unmoving, veering further and further underneath the booth. A shriek of feedback follows suit, jumping the crowd out of their confused complacency and the DJ out of his haze. A crowd of disappointed groans ring through the room as he jumps back onto the deck, clammy hands clumsily sliding all volumes to zero. Dance club magic was quickly replaced by awkward sounds of shuffling bodies and drunk, annoyed chatter. The DJ awkwardly signals a quiet apology to the crowd as he wipes the sweat off his forehead. Quickly rearranging all sliders to their preferred position, he cues a nostalgic hit to please the crowd. With a cheer, all is forgiven. Maybe you request that song some other night. Pulled away from the stage by the countless bodies on the dance floor, you shuffle back into a roomier position. Alright, I guess we can go home then. The night is still young. What do you do? Go home. Even beautiful nights like these must end. Stumbling over a variety of trash, you do your best to make it home. The grind of reality slowly presses back into your mind. New Vika, the city of towers, never sleeps. From the rivers of sludge that pass between the endless rows of apartments to the busy commerce districts glowing from above. To the luxurious penthouses and upscale shopping districts located at the very top. You live at the very bottom, lulled to sleep every night by salty waves brushing against the outside of your tower. A few years ago, the tide took out the apartment below yours. Hopefully, you will be able to move soon. Feeling bored with the quiet of your usual route home, you open your V-View to check your DMs. Oh, I wonder if Glory Hole Boy's in there. A spike of subtle lag warns you of the advertisement that was about to steal your sight for the next minute. Oh my god, that's terrible. I hate that. Soon after comes a line you've come to know by heart. Jimmy Hop? Featuring Love You Crazy Style, Cricket Hop Forever, Jump Into Love featuring Sex Doll, and more. Oh my god. Jimmy Hop is back. Get it, get it, get it. Everybody's new favorite hit single, Love You Crazy Style, is finally here. Message Crazy Love to 1-18-814 to get the ringtone. Now, now, now. All your favorite ringtones, themes, and games. Only available through Jumbo Tunes. Subscribe today for a limited time offer of $9.99 a month and get a free Jimmy Hop theme for your vision. Okay, I'm sorry. This reminds me of the era of cell phones where people would like go to those websites and like take ringtones and put them on their phones, and like how Crazy Frog used to be like real big in that scene. That's what this reminds me of. If it was inspired by it, well done. Because this is amazing. You too could. I remember the days of texting codes from magazines. Yeah, I remember that kind of thing too. You too could love Crazy Style with the all-new hit single as your ringtone. Again, that's Crazy Love to 1814 to subscribe to Jumbo Tunes for Love You Crazy Style and a free Jimmy Hop theme. Your inbox is empty. You pray the hangover lurking in your system does not incapacitate you come dawn. Ashamed that our Glory Hole Boy wasn't in there. The door locks behind you. Kicking your shoes aside, you stumble towards the closest comfortable surface. Your one-room apartment is just as you left it. Empty, sparse, barely organized in any meaningful sense. You do your best to keep it presentable, but the dingy, dated walls easily betray your rate of income. Keeping it spotless demands energy you do not have. Outside your window hum the sounds from the city from above. You shut the blinders. At this moment, you are blissfully unaware of the alarm set only a few hours from now. You fall into your single mattress bed, collapsing in its comfortable pillows. The world fades, leaving you no chance to remember what tomorrow entails. Chapter 2, Wire Mother. Rise and shine, love bug. Have a crazy style day. Your head is ringing. Your eyes crank open slowly, first one, then the other. The sleep sticks to your corneas like sand. Your pillow soaked with drool. You went a bit too crazy yesterday. Immediately, your vision flickers and fills with notifications. Right above the time, you see an attached alarm clarifier from your past self. NWWA meeting. VA meeting? You bolt upright as your neurons fire just hard enough to make the connection. Shit! You scramble your way out of bed. You're not late, but you certainly cannot take your time either. You rummage through your sparse kitchen cabinets, ravenous for an easy meal. Shoving handfuls of oats into your mouth, you frantically search for your clothes. Managing to thread the thin line of clean enough and not smelly, seeing as your laundry is in various stages of completion, you pick a presentable enough outfit for the day. It had taken months to trudge through the National Work and Welfare Agency and its trademark long, complicated bureaucracy. You were in no way ungrateful. Having the state assist you with keeping your lights on and your pantry level survivable was, to many people, an unheard luxury. Some even considered it wasteful. You were given a monthly sum, barely enough to scrape by with the rapidly hiking rent prices and food costs, but a sum nonetheless. In return, the state expects you to find work fast and remain willing and hireable for just about any work that comes your way, regardless of will or experience. And then there's the temp brand. The subtle hum of the ring projected around your neck resonates in your ears. Oh, we have a dog collar? The temp brand is given to everyone currently registered within the NWWA's system, acting as a tracker and ID that seemingly connects to your vision. Seamlessly, sorry. Wrong S word. The brand is removed upon canceling mandated NWWA activities or getting a contract position. Until then, the glowing collar remains a clear signal to the world that you rely on the state to survive. Oh. Well, that's a different kind of dog collar. It's definitely not my kind of dog collar. Today you have a meeting with your assigned NWWA agent. Putting on your shoes and brushing your teeth at the same time, you fail twice to get out the door without your clothes catching on the handle. Middle levels are typically busy. All sorts of people hurry through the glass-clad bridges stretching between the towers, rushing in all sorts of directions. The weather is gray and overcast, almost blindingly so. The patter of rain rhythmically washes over the countless windows of the central station tower, and in your reduced state, you feel the slight sway of the massive building all too well. You follow the long trail of people heading into the city-wide rail system, passing by rows upon rows of animated billboards. Jimmy Hop endlessly showcases the features of brand deal shampoo. Strange for a little guy with no hair. You find the central line and file into a recently arrived train. It's dead quiet, despite the crowd. You hear an unfamiliar tune from the cheap headset worn by a tired student next to you. The train darts in, out, around, and between various towers, out of one glass tunnel and into the next. A few stops and a short walk later, you make it through the unassuming glass doors of the tower housing the agency. You settle into the large, clinically decorated waiting room. The front desk is empty, and the screens are dead. You no longer need to grab a number. Your brand had already signaled you into the queue from the moment you entered the building. All you needed to do was wait, and keep track of the projected number hovering at the corner of your vision. A long quiet passes by, occasionally interrupted by a sneeze or the clearing of a throat from the sparse selection populating the room. The doors leading further in open as another agency user leaves one of many simultaneous agent meetings. Like clockwork, someone from the waiting room got up and filed in to replace them. Whoa. You pass the time by idly scrolling through the endless stream of content on VView, broken up by the occasional screen-wide advertisement. Finally, your number ticks up and turns green. It closes out of the feed, and you get up. Crossing into the threshold into the office section, you are met by a familiar sight, your assigned agent. Welcome back. How are you? I'm fighting a bit of a headache. Thanks for taking the time to make it here. Guiding you to an empty meeting room in between countless occupied ones, Agent Bones closes the door behind you and settles down behind the anonymous-looking desk at the center. Bones has been your agent for some time now. He's the ideal NWWA worker, well-kept, clean, and always keeping a professional distance, so as not to get too tangled up with the often sore subject matter of income and employment. You have the impression that Bones cares about his work. You envy the cool, detached manner in which he shows it. I'll get to the point. I have some news you may like. You said you were looking for work within prosthetics, and I may have found a workshop with an open position. You lift your gaze and straighten up in your seat. Would your education finally see its intended use? As if having noticed your hopes getting up, Bones is quick to add to his statement. This will, of course, be a training position. The shop does not have the means to contractually hire you. Sinking back, you struggle to hold in a weary sigh. But what they can offer is a means of getting experience and further recommendation. I dare say this may be your best bet at getting work within the field. Word of mouth travels fast, especially with these street-level shops. Make a name for yourself here, and someone else might snap you up. NWWA will remain your employer on paper, and you will be paid the minimum rate for your hours. If you do not work full-time, we will supply your existing unemployment assistance with any unmet hours. All you need to do, should you accept the position, is show up and do your best. You rub at your neck, thinking over the offer. Well, it's presented as an offer. You and Bones both know you had little say in the matter. Any refusal to take an offered opportunity was grounds for cutting off support. Jesus Christ. I remember this shit from when I was on unemployment after getting fired from... Oh, not fired. Redacted in force, I guess is what they called it, from my university job. And I felt really bad about the fact that, like, I had to accept literally any job that came across my desk, no matter, like, if it was something that, like, I wasn't really fit for, or, like, something that I had more experience and was overqualified for and stuff like that. I get the concept behind why they would make you do that, just because, like, it's the easiest way for the government to get you off of assistance. But I also just feel like, to some degree, it's also just setting people up for failure. Especially since we live in a society that uses the term of, what do they call it? It's not low-paying job. There's a specific term they use. I don't remember off the top of my head. But it's basically their way of referring to labor as, like, unskilled labor. And because they call it unskilled labor, they're allowed to pay you less for it. And if you're somebody who is on unemployment and you get offered one of those jobs, not taking it tends to be looked at as you abusing your benefits, which sucks because the term unskilled labor shouldn't even exist. There shouldn't even be a thing called unskilled labor. Every bit of labor that somebody performs should be called labor, and it should be seen accordingly, and, like, there should be appropriate compensation for it. Especially since most of what society calls low-skilled labor jobs are actually way more intensive. I'm thinking of things like warehouse jobs, for example, where a lot of the lower-level jobs are viewed as labor jobs, which, in the place that I used to work at, I'm not going to talk about the place that I work at now, but the place that I used to work at, we were told pretty much off the spot, when we were signing up for our benefits, that a lot of the reason why our benefits sucked was because they offered the benefits to the entire company, specifically citing the warehouse operators and telling us pretty much in private that they get paid far less than we do. And we were just supposed to be okay with that. And that's kind of how a lot of different, like, warehouses and stuff like that view the labor force, is that anybody who's above the manual labor tends to be seen as, like, higher and more valuable than anyone below. Which really, it should honestly be the opposite way, because, like, while people at desks like myself have an important job, it's the people below that are viewed as quote-unquote unskilled labor that are really making all the money for the company, because they're the ones who are, like, carrying out the orders and loading them and stuff like that. Like, you can't do that job without them, so I didn't understand that point of view. It's one of the many things I hated about that company. But yeah, that just brought up that memory. Where will I be working? Vika Kybernetica. It's locally owned. You will be learning prosthetic maintenance. Your degree was within designing military-grade combat prosthetics. Not by personal choice, you just heard the field needed a few people years ago. Now, here you were, fighting for even an entry-level position in a barely related field. God, that's relatable. You've not heard of Vika Kybernetica before. Maybe that was a good thing. You hear a lot of things about bigger franchises, especially in the way of close ties with powerful manufacturers. Expensive maintenance bills were the norm. In fact, many enhanced people preferred small shops because of this. Here, even discounted models can be repaired. You spot an opportunity to gain a highly marketable skill. I have the contact ready for signing here. What do you say? The contract slides into your V-read. practice, your relationship to NWWA would practically be the same as it currently was. Regular agent calls and meetings, as well as manually clocking your hours in the bi-weekly update form. The NWWA would then cross-reference it with the location data and hours automatically clocked into your 10th brand. Best not leave town while you were supposed to work, or spend too much time in stores the NWWA knew you couldn't pay for. Oh, that's fucking bullshit. You sign it, and Bones shakes your hand firmly. Wonderful. Fingers crossed you'll reach employment soon. I'll be getting in touch with you in regards to our next meeting. For now, simply focus on getting used to your new position. That's the time I have for you today. I'll see you later, and good luck. You trail back out the same way you came in. Notification slides into your vision as soon as you leave the building. Bones, ever vigilant, has already sent you the address. You're to be there in 2 days, bright and early. You have some time to readjust your sleeping schedule, likely easier if you avoid another visit to La Boheme. With the rush hour nearing its end, your trip back home is far less crowded. The train screeches slowly to a halt as it approaches the end of the line. The lower lines saw less maintenance than the other ones. Sometimes you swear the lights of the cabin dim lower the further you travel down. You are alone in the carriage. You jump out of your complacent haze as a notification blinks into your vision. Had Bones forgotten something? You open the notification. Are we getting hacked? It's gone. Guess he must have deleted the message. That was weird. The wires embedded in your eyes begin to feel warm. The carriage doors slide open, and familiar salty air whips past you as you step out onto the empty, unsheltered platform. You pull your hood up to shield yourself from the rain and make your way back home. Perhaps you should check the warranty on those implants. 2 days pass in the blink of an eye. Come morning, you are miserable to find that your alarm rings at the exact moment it told it to. Rubbing the sleep from your tired eyes, you sit up and stretch. It had been a while since you worked with anything related to prosthetics. A slight flutter of excitement pushes through the usual existential dread. You haven't had access to a workshop since your time as a student. Maybe you could convince your new boss into letting you use it for some side projects. Doing something useful with your time instead of just sitting around and applying to a million jobs with no end in sight was also a relief. Unfortunately, you were not prepared for the morning commute. Pushing yourself through the masses of people, you dart out of the fully stuffed carriage into the chaotic state of the central station. You'd think a city with a lot of shitty weather would be better prepared for a flood. Whose idea was it to put the server room for the entire train network at sea level anyway? Oh my god, that's terrible. Notification after notification pops into your vision. You answered them frequently at first, but the wall quickly became overwhelming. Your new boss seems like the anxious type. Good thing small shops didn't have the means to invest in employee tracking. But on the other hand, she was constantly sending 5 messages instead of 1. Man, this sucks. Being late on the first day would really leave a stain on any chance of getting a permanent contract. The VMAP tells you to turn a corner, and you quickly find yourself leaving the busy main street behind. Large brands and flagship stores were gradually replaced by smaller establishments, parks, and residential units. There, right before the end of the Tower Plateau, was Vika Kybernetica. Was this place some kind of repurposed auto repair? How many years has it been since you saw a tire? No time to think about that, though. You burst in through the front door. Oh, shit. The eyeless mask glares down at you with the wrathful grace of a god touching upon the earth. You knew this man. Often heard, often spoke of, often seen, but rarely among people. His presence is all-consuming. It takes you a good while to realize someone else was also glaring at you. Holy shit, look at the titties on that guy. Not now. No harm was done. The eerily calm tone does little to ease your nerves. What you just did could have swiftly ended your life. Such was the rule of technocrat Gaius Regis. Is this the one you spoke of, Satya? Ah, yes. Our new agency we hire with the amazing resume. Glad you can make it despite the short notice. There is no amazing resume. There was no short notice. Someone had lied about you. Slowly, a theory forms in your mind. A powerful celebrity client and a shop that did not want the responsibility should he be disappointed. You were disposable. Great. What will you do? Well, me, in my position, I would probably tell the truth, but given that this is our only way of perhaps improving our way of life, it may be better just to play along. You swallow dryly and reach out a trembling hand in greeting. What an honor, technocrat. I got here as fast as I could. He takes your hand slowly and gives it a single firm shake. Like a contract, you feel bound to your little white lie. All technocrats had an assigned domain. His was technology. Every shop, manufacturer, law, and judgment in the field answered to him. Every whisper taken in regards to the promise of human progress eventually passed through that static metal mask. Not all technocrat domains were so vast. You were just unlucky enough to meet the most powerful of his kind. But at the same time, impress technocrat Gaius Regis and be set for life. Be not afraid. It is an honor to work in the service of our evolution. Independent shops such as these carry great importance in the cybernetics ecosystem. This is an ethics-driven field, after all, made to support us on the most human level. Take heed, your time at Vika Cybernetica will shape you well. Mr. Regis, you sing our praises too high. Vika Cybernetica is just your humble neighborhood workshop, built to serve expert-level maintenance for the average Joe at a reasonable price. Way to oversell the concept. My request today concerns my pet project. Ah, guess that's why a technocrat wouldn't bother with a larger shop. This is probably about something antique like an RC chopper or some toy robot. Rich farts love collectible toys. At least that's what you thought it was until you realized there was one more person in the room. Oh shit, he's hot. Leisurely relaxing across multiple waiting room chairs at once was a sight to behold. Your gaze trails up his impressively sculpted body, lingering for longer than you would like to admit. He is dressed casually, with a tank top so low ringed it practically invited wondering eyes. Oh, I think this is our eyeball man. I think this is our glory hole, dude. Only when your gaze crosses his, you realize this is your second meeting. Memories of your sweaty encounter in the Labohem bathroom flood your mind. That sultry, confident gaze was unmistakable. Your heart jumps into your throat as Gaius lays a heavy claw on your shoulder. My magnum opus. A true thing of beauty, isn't he? You're sweating. Quickly, you steal another glance at the man in the corner. He's looking away, unbothered, scraping away the dirt under his sharp robotic nails. Looks like he didn't recognize you. Maybe that's for the better. You certainly do not want a very rich, powerful man finding out you knew his sugar baby carnally. Yeah, there's so much titty. There's so much titty. He was in need of a life-saving treatment, and I gave him the very best my field could offer. All I asked in return was creative liberty. Now he stands as a symbol of what true progress looks like. An aspirational model built for the future. My ultimate showcase. Where I go, he goes. So you understand, he must be in pristine condition. He spoke the truth. The detail work of his design was something else. Heavily stylized and sleek like a sports hovercraft. Sure, it was somewhat fantastical in nature. It But who wouldn't do something a bit crazy with a technocrat tier budget? Oh, nice. He created kimono minis. In place of shoes, he enjoyed some additional height from digitigrade limb enhancers shaped into claws. Behind him, a long tail sways idly atop his scruffy head, a set of fluffy lion-like ears. Along the seams trailed pulsating lines of light. There seemed to be very little of his original body left. He is in need of frequent tuning, given that his limbs are custom-made and prone to wear. Usually, I would simply take this matter to my personal team, but Satya here's father and I are old acquaintances. Given his recent retirement, I saw fit to support the shop's new leadership. You're too kind, sir. Vika Kybernetica will not let you down more than we already have. Baby, are you just gonna leave me in this dump? The workshop tables look so uncomfortable. We can get you a pillow. Let's get started right away. New guy, with me. You look back at the technocrat. He seems to already be in the beginnings of a long-winded business call, and no longer pays you any mind. Best not to bother him. You follow the others into the workshop area. Alright. It is time for a small break. So I'm going to save here just in case something shitty happens. And we will be back in 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere, and then we will continue. Alright, we are back. Welcome back. Let's continue Technocrat. For those of you who don't know what this is a gay visual novel made by Vertebrae Studios. Age Marcus is the developer of that in chat, and you can check out the game by going to this link here and checking it out on itch.io, giving it a follow, and yeah, let's get back to it. Satya is quick to close the door behind you, immediately urging you out of the listening distance from the already cranky-looking Catman. Okay, listen, temp guy. First, I'm real sorry about that, but you have no fucking clue how close I was to shitting myself in there. Oh, don't even worry, Satya. I'm sure one of your first drop-in clients won't be the most important guy in the known universe. I just took over here, and frankly, it's more than I can handle. In my defense, I thought you'd be on time. Sorry, I couldn't exactly make traffic go faster. Did you try? Whatever, it's done now. And if I die from disappointing a techno guy, I'm taking you with me. Your client is taken to boredly pushing tools off the side of a workbench. I have a lot of paperwork to do. Please make sure our client is well taken care of. I'm counting on you. Yes. One of the developers. I think it's a two-person team. But they are one of them, yes. Satya walks casually over to a door labeled Supply Closet. She steps inside and closes it quietly behind her. Oh no, did she go to the anxiety closet? That's a big mood. I'm half the dev team. My friend Hawk did most of the work. Oh, okay. You hear a muffled scream, followed by a lot of things being knocked over. Yeah, that sounds like an anxiety closet, alright. You know, didn't have to do that. Cyborg goes quiet and eyes you judgmentally from head to toe. Bold words from someone who lied to cover their ass. Looks like he'd seen through the odd theatrics from earlier. Wasn't that obvious? Aw, don't feel embarrassed. I've just gotten real good at telling when people suck up to him. Your boss is obvious. You did better. Won't tell. Gotta do what you gotta do, right? Better have the skills to back it up, though. Let's get you looked at. You lead him over to the cleanest looking workshop table, and he gets seated while you sort out the tools you need. Seeing as it had been some time since you did anything like this, you need a moment to get familiar with your surroundings. Might as well hold some polite conversation, get to know your new client. So what's your name? You hear his pants hit the floor. Oh. Oh, I see. Oh, it's that kind of... Oh, alright. That was fast. Forcing your focus on the mission at hand, you divert your urge to steal another glance. Your university was well equipped with the latest technology within assembly and production. You can find some sort of lesser equivalent of all necessary tools in the various partially organized shelves. Name's Stray. I'm surprised you don't recognize me. You almost dropped the drill. I'm usually around the old man for events and stuff. Your heart returns to its proper position. That explains it. I've heard about you before. I just don't watch a lot of news, so I don't catch a lot of celebrity stuff. You feel his stare on your back. You return to the workstation. Setting aside your tools, you move to remove the luxurious silicone skin stretching over his legs. Oh damn, it's this CG. His gorgeous, muscular legs. Attached to strong yet curvy hips. Attached to a perfectly chiseled torso. You hesitate. You had not seen anyone quite so augmented outside of your hidden folders. Take a picture. It'll last longer. I'm about to get into your wiring. It doesn't feel right if I don't ask first. You may. You gently trace your fingers along the seams of his body, locating the series of hidden latches that release the protective cover. Once the skin slides off, you get a real chance to admire the expert handiwork of his custom limbs. Expertly organized layout, high-quality hydraulics, cushioned ends, and self-oiling joints. This was the full package. All the comfort of near-realistic prosthetics with all the style of high-fashion enhancements. You even take a moment to admire his claw-tipped fingers, squeezing the cushioned pads in the insides of his hands. Man, I haven't seen stuff this high-tech since university. You've got a fantastic set. Pervert. I didn't mean it like that. Before getting to the tuning, You need to figure out what pieces are prone to misalignment over time. Digitigrade legs demanded near perfect shape and balance, rendering them mostly useless and way too expensive for the average consumer. You lift up his leg, pressing it gently against his chest. You pick up a subtle hydraulic wheeze from the right knee area and a small creak from the bolt near his hip. You could keep pushing. He was incredibly flexible. The tuning was the easy part. You tighten whatever needs tightening and loosen whatever needs loosening. Making sure all limbs were on a similar level, you take the time to tune all other limbs in accordance with the first one. Once done, you reattach his wires and assemble the covers back into its proper place. Even a slight misfit can result in blisters and tears, or even infections and fractures. Alright, test him out. And if you're off balance, Stray gets up and takes a moment to stretch, rocking back and forth on his paws. All solid. Stray puts his clothes back on while you clean the tools and put them back in their place. Done already? Hurrying over to you, she grabs Stray's limbs and shakes them around a bit while humming and hawing. You may not be reliable, but you sure are efficient. This is acceptable. I'll let our client know you're finished. Wipe that stain off your shirt, okay? And for Q3, allocate funding to development of advanced synergy drives. We need the internal battery to last a minimum of 250 years. Seems he was still in the middle of his meeting. He walks straight past you and takes Stray's limbs into his massive talon-like hands, testing the limits of his flexibility. Stray remains quiet as the technocrat guides his movement in a strange display of dominance. Your concern has been noted. Proceed to beta testing. He exits his call, and Stray is released. Satya. He goes quiet again, and you hold your breath. Train this one well. He shows promise. With his approval, the tense air in the workshop dissipates. Hopefully that was the last time you'll ever see a celebrity client. Welcome back, sweet normalcy. You have been sorely missed. Wait, what's he up to? Babe, your team is boring. Can we come back here? Oh my god. These places do have a certain charm to them. I suppose even you have some sense of nostalgia. Was this a sick joke designed to give you repeat heart attacks for the foreseeable future? Or is this his idea of helping your career? Maybe he just liked seeing you sweat. I have transferred payment to your services. For your services. Should you find something amiss, contact my secretary. Come, Stray. We have a busy day ahead. Satya, send my regards to your father. They leave through the same door you had entered only an hour earlier. In such a short time, your life had changed considerably. Shit! I don't think I've ever been that lucky. Satya wipes the sweat off her forehead and sighs before turning to you. You've got guts! I like that. Shit morning aside, allow me to officially welcome you to Vika Cybernetica. You didn't need to back up my act, but you totally did. Knocked it out of the park, too. I appreciate that. Man, you really saved my ass. I can't wait to meet more of the team. This is it. Huh. Very spacious for one person. It used to be my whole family. My dad ran the place ever since he and my mom moved here. I was practically raised in this thing. They had to build extra tall shelves so I wouldn't steal all the prosthetics. They finally managed to retire, and as the gearhead of my siblings, I got to inherit the shop. You know how it is, though. People find their own way. My aunts and uncles moved before starting their own... My aunts and uncles moved and started their own families, and my siblings are studying to become other things. Before I knew it, it was just me left to run it. She pauses, seemingly not quite sure how to continue the conversation with the depressing change in tone. Well, I'm set to be here for a while, and now that we don't have to deal with the technocrat anymore, maybe you can show me how to do things around here? Yeah, come on, let's get you set up with workshop access. The rest of the day is blissfully quiet in comparison. With Satya's blessing, you are allowed to pick a workshop station and personalize it to have everything you need. The influx of customers is slow but persistent. Through cooperating with your new boss, you come to learn more of how she likes things done. All sorts of clients seem to favor Vika Cybernetica, some even branded like you. Your guess is the friendly price tag had something to do with it. The day comes to a close, and you and Satya part on good terms. You find yourself dozing off in an empty train, heading homeward. Today, you truly made a difference to people. It felt important. It felt good. Would you see Stray again? Perhaps at La Boheme. Myriad questions linger in your mind, centering the nature of his and Gaius' relationship. Getting too close seems dangerous, and yet you remain curious. Did Gaius know? Was Stray happy with this? You still can't believe how skilled he was with his tongue. Just thinking about it makes your face heat up. Clearly, he was very experienced, and not exactly faithful. An attractive guy like that probably had no issue getting laid, though. Did he stick to glory holes to avoid being recognized? Station after station of decreasing upkeep files by your vision, and you blink slowly until they all blur together. The notification jolts you awake. You yawn and stretch, idly opening it. This again. We're being hacked again? Wait, that says you're always on my mind. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is happening? Holding at the sides of your head, you struggle to get to your feet. A pattern sears itself into your vision. Burning wires dig into the stems of your eyeballs. Yeah, I think we're being hacked. And just like that, everything returns to the way it was. It's cold. You rub your eyes. Looking to your side, you see the carriage doors hovering open, threatening to close, but never committing. You were at the end of the line. How much time had passed? Stumbling out into the windy platform, you hurried through the darkened streets of the lower levels. Infinite towers with infinite doors breeze past you. Eventually you find your number, and slam the door shut behind you. Only in the safety of your own home does your breath catch up to you. Sliding down the wall, you stare up at the ceiling. You squeeze your lids shut, attempting to remember that strange symbol. Maybe that new update had bricked the system, and you saw some stuff you weren't meant to see. Analyzing your device in the mirror provided no answer. Your eyes were a smidge bloodshot, but what did that mean? You splash cold water on your face. It's oddly soothing. It was a restless sleep. You wake to find your covers on the floor, your pillow on your nightstand, and your alarm not due for another hour. The sheets are damp from sweat. Seeing as you are out of detergent, throwing them in the wash would not be currently fruitful. Perhaps this was a good chance to do some shopping before work. Maybe you can invest in more than one-ply toilet paper and save your back end from the sensation of sandpaper. You end up taking an earlier train to work, finding it pleasantly empty, as are the Middle District supermarkets. When you finally arrive at Vika Cybernetica, someone is waiting outside. Customer? Guess Satya wasn't here yet. As you approach, your pace slows and you find yourself looking upwards. Oh hey, it's that DJ guy. Wispy like a weeping willow, he turns his long-haired visage to face you. Bony fingers brush his hair away from his face, and he offers you a kind smile and slides off his headset. Through the speakers, you hear the rhythmic club beats not too different from the ones you heard a few nights ago. Yo, you work here? Think I'm a bit early. Somehow it never struck you that the DJ from La Boheme had a life outside the booth. Thankfully, it seems he wasn't the kind of guy to show up to a prosthetic appointment. If he ended up on your workshop table, you'd prefer he didn't space out again. It's my second day. The boss should be arriving any minute. No wonder I haven't seen you here before. Congrats, fellow Brandy! It's hard to lay these training positions. I started going to Vika a while ago, but I just can't remember when it opens for business. Analyzing him, you attempt to get a read on what kind of models you may be working with today, but see nothing out of the ordinary. You got seamless models or something? Nothing that fancy. It's my guts. You'll probably be seeing them today. Internal prosthetics were not a clean process to tune. A part of you hopes Satya will take care of this particular case. Where limbs lay firmly within the world of industrial design, organs land more within medical science. In many cases, it was preferable to have organic replacements, but there were not nearly enough donors. A machine provided an accessible, highly customizable alternative, and even if it was likely you need regular stays at a hospital for the rest of your life. The more organs you replace with prosthetics, the worse they all get doing their job. Tuning the machine to suit the body was one thing. Tuning a row of machines to not interfere with each other was a whole other beast. Getting queasy? I get it, man. It's not pretty in there. Uriel, you dumb, lanky bastard! Satya stomps up to him and points an accusatory finger in the man's face. You have to show up more frequently than this. Your guts are going to be toast at this rate. Sorry, I didn't have the money. Got it now, though. You know how the NWWA is. It takes forever to get my maintenance marked as a necessary expense. Can't you just call them and clear up the situation? Not since they limited their channels. All communication happens through agent meetings and official forms now. She sighs and unlocks the door to the shop, letting you both inside. They keep changing the system. I can't keep up. Too bad we didn't meet the technocrat of welfare yesterday, huh? Uriel, you're not gonna believe who showed up here yesterday. Wait, coffee or tea? You still have that chamomile blend? It's morning, weirdo. You? I'll have some coffee. Satya ducks behind the counter, rummaging around. You hear the comfortable rumble of water starting a boil. So there I was, ass deep in paperwork, then I looked up, and who else walks in but the technocrat of technology? No way! Was it some kind of PR stunt? She sets two mismatched cups in front of you and Uriel, and you quickly enjoy the subtle bliss of a working man's coffee while the two of them catch up. Never underestimate a chamomile in the morning. So true. And get this, he's here to fix his fucking boy toy. You immediately choke on it. What? I'm right! He was doing this weird BDSM shit with him right in front of our eyes, too. Don't act like you were too dense to notice. This is a very different kind of public relation. But hey, different goals for different boats, right? I think it's whatever floats your boat. I'm running a family business here. This prick genuinely thought he was blessing me with his presence by prancing in and playing slightly above average. It was an interesting first day at work. Come on, let's get you looked at. New guy, I'll show you the seam lines. Trailing into the workshop, Uriel walks over to Satya's table, but to your dismay, Satya urges him towards yours and starts wheeling over all sorts of medical equipment. Don't be squeamish. You gotta learn this part or you won't be good at your job. Half our regulars rely on internal prosthetics. Half of that again now have outdated models and can't replace them. Luckily for you, you'll probably see most models you're ever gonna work with in Yuri alone. While Uriel tugs off his shirt, Satya drags you closer to him and tasks you with attaching electrodes to his body in key locations. Here and here. And, okay, if this machine starts beeping, he's dying. Don't let it do that. This is a generator. You can attach this to him while you disconnect his heart, and plug these into his lung receptors before you take them out, okay? Sometimes caffeine isn't the answer, and a chamomile can be just as refreshing. That's true, yeah. That's true. It's rare for me, but sometimes I like morning tea more than I do like a morning coffee. He drank some tea, so there's going to be liquid in his bladder. Don't be a baby about it. Uriel lays down on your work table with remarkable calm and for someone you could very easily kill with a single misstep. Satya grabs your hands and puts them on his bare stomach. Okay, now feel for the line. The latch should be just where the ribs begin. You feel the invisible indent, and as requested, you trail up the line. Just as she had said, there was a subtle indent at his sides. You push in, and Uriel winces slightly. Damn. Okay. Wasn't actually expecting it to be shown. Holy crap. With a soft mechanical hiss, the line deepens and parts from his body, revealing itself to be a massive hatch. You slide off the skin-textured lid, which turned out to cover everything from his pelvis to his collarbones. Beyond it laid a sight unlike anything you'd ever seen before. His body was practically hollowed out, akin to an anatomical model you'd seen at the doctor's office. Like you could just pop his organs out one by one like a puzzle and put them right back in afterwards. I've done puzzles like that in horror games. Are you familiar with this kind of stuff? What the hell? It was more severe than anything you could have imagined. You'd only seen stuff like this from pictures of war veterans during university classes. It gave you nightmares. I studied internal combat prosthetics. Don't worry, it's not as bad as it looks. It's worse, actually. See the brands? None of them are the same. Half of them are discontinued or have discontinued parts. It's like patchwork in here. It's a wonder you're still standing. How does this even happen? Uriel sighs reluctantly. He needs to know, Yuri. Alright. You know psilocarmine? Who doesn't? It's rampant in the lower levels. I've seen addicts before. Thin, frail, completely losing their sense of time and space. And the more you looked at Uriel, the more telltale signs of psilocarmine abuse you can see. You've heard of cases like this. Entire organs would shut down and have to be replaced. But to this extent? One thing interests you about Uriel's psilocarmine use. Probably the result. Psilocarmine did all this to you? Is there even anything left in here? It's been a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. My liver went first, and they told me I could have a standard prosthetic or sign up for product testing and speculative models for a bit extra money. It seemed like a sweet deal at first. Unfortunately, it's hell to kick the Carmine habit. I ended up on that operating table so many times I've lost count. After a while, they set me up with this shell torso thing. Guess that makes it some kind of messed up job perk, huh? In short, though, no, not really. It's a very creative way to stay alive, that's for sure. You put on your work gloves. Though finding the variety of maintenance valves across the various models proved challenging, you eventually managed to hook Uriel up to the machine Satya had prepared and turned them on. Soft wheezes and hisses fill the air as pumps and generators start whirring in tandem. Uriel waits patiently as you take your time switching his organs to the generator outputs. You shut them off one by one, your entire body tense with the anticipation of a worst-case scenario. Uriel's soft smile and calm demeanor put you at ease, but at the same time it plays to the opposite effect. Either this man had complete trust in your inexperienced hands, or he did not fear death. Once having proved yourself capable of not immediately killing a drug addict, Satya leaves you to learn your trade the hard way. Thankfully, today's paperwork exit was more peaceful. Calibrating each link in the strange, tender chain of the prosthetic system inside him to his best of his ability, you try to balance each one with the wildly different systems around. It proves challenging. You notice that a few of the cables linking each part are custom-made. Satya may act a bit callous, but she's a great mechanic. You know why? Usually a cable like that is considered illegal, but she makes them anyway, because a lot of her clients are like me and would die without them. She doesn't even charge for it. She just does it. He knocks at his synthetic heart, currently supported by one of many humming machines around you. You finish tuning his prosthetics and lube up some of the older pieces. Then you fasten them into their silicone frames, making sure they would not knock into each other or scrape at the plastic casings that separated man from machine. At the very end, you provide a general checkup on Uriel's prosthetic synergy, all proving middling to minimal functionality, telltale signs of a poorly designed build. Livable, but not happily so. To top it off, you test the reaction time on his vision. Any strange visual glitches or overheating lately? Nah, it just lags. Almost made me lose a call the other day. Why do you ask? No reason. You patch Uriel back up, sliding his torso cover back on. You attach it, and watch it seamlessly integrate into his frail frame. Satya returns to the room and gives her client one final check before giving you a thumbs up for your hard work. Uriel slides off the table and stretches with a sleepy yawn before putting his clothes back on. I did a complete check and tuned everything back together the best I could, but it will desync over time. I recommend you come back soon, and I'll look into sourcing some spare parts that could slow the process. What sort of parts were you thinking? Military grade. They have to tie a lot more systems together out in the field because you have to use enemy tech sometimes. In the long run, it becomes easier to transport adapters rather than entire boxes of prosthetics. War prosthetics are such a different field from consumer grade, though I can only imagine the problem it makes for us users having to work around here entirely different arms and legs in a pinch. War veterans do tend to have misaligned skeletons after their efforts. We love a self-supplying system. I don't need you two sad bastards ruining the mood in here. Uriel is enough. Anyway, where are you going to source them from? I should have some contacts from my uni days that I can look into. Don't strain yourself. I don't know when I'll be able to afford popping back in. Not much you can do about that, but still, could you just let him suffer? His words about Satya linger in your mind. How did she balance ethics with income? He gathers his things and straightens back with a big, carefree grin. Thank you for your hard work. I feel better now. I've transferred the funds to you now. I've transferred the funds to you now, Sat. Sorry if it takes a while. It's probably gonna be triple checked with the NWWA before it leaves my account. Don't sweat it, stupid. Be back soon. Bye, you two. Uriel leaves the workshop area with a wave and a lighter step than he came in with, leaving you and Satya to clean up the workstation for your next client. Silence falls. A burning question lingers in your mind. Satya, you deal with most consumer-grade prosthetics, right? Does that include visions? Sometimes. I fix a cracked lens or two. What's up? What does a vision malfunction usually look like? Depends. Is it the hardware? I usually don't mess with the software side of things. Normal hardware malfunction is like a loose cable or limited movement range. Wear and tear on the inside of the eye is also common, seeing as custom fit costs extra. Software malfunctions are usually lag caused by memory leaks or faulty input, randomly closing your tabs or double tapping things. What about overheating? Sounds uncomfortable. Could be caused by unexpected data input from another implant. Visual glitches? Camera signal cross-contamination? Look, is your vision giving you trouble? I can take a look at it. You allow Satya to take a look at your eyes. She grabs your face firmly, prying your eyelid open while grabbing a flashlight from the work table and to beam it directly into your eyes. Inlutrice. Thank you so much for playing this demo. My partner and good friend worked so hard on this for the last year, and it's so nice to see people enjoying it. Hey, yeah, no problem at all. You're so welcome. We've been having a great time with this. Man, we really gotta fix that at some point. Thank you so much for the follow, Inlustrice, and welcome to the dungeon. I hope you enjoy your stay. But yeah, we've been having a good time with this. It's been really neat. And I've been enjoying reading it, so... Just to remind those of you who may have just come in, this is called Technocrat. It is a demo that is available on itch.io, made by Vertebrae Entertainment. You can check out the demo yourself or read more about the game, give it a follow and save and stuff like that, and check it out as it continues development. Who's my favorite character so far? I like Stray. He's definitely my type of character. We haven't seen much of him, but I still like him. Ow! Don't be a baby. Look straight up. Yeah, no, the hardware seems fine. Could be the cable, but this sounds like a software problem to me. Your theme is ugly, by the way. Jenny Jump is way cuter than Jimmy Hop. Yes, my man draws the most luscious tits. Yes, absolutely. His tits are impeccable. Very, very, very much caught my eye. And apparently the eye of several people in my audience. So. And Big Man's back muscles is wowie zowie. Yeah, there's some impressive musculature in this game for sure. 100%. She turns the lights off and set him back on the table. Then she lets your face go. Vision customer service is such a pain in the ass. You sigh and add a note to your V-to-do message to message the maintenance center later. Still, this narrowed the possibilities down significantly. So what's with your whole face getting red from touching dudes? Huh? What about it? Nothing, I just didn't know you swing that way. Though I had a suspicion. Was it so obvious? Just keep work and play separate, okay? And consider working a bit more on your poker face. The rest of your shift goes well. Clients come and go, and you get a better grip on the various processes within your new workplace. Satya sends you home early, before she locks herself into her office with a pile of paperwork and a pot of coffee. You enjoy another peaceful ride home. Sparse groups of travelers file in and out as the train approaches the lower levels. Opening V-Help, you start the mandatory automatic troubleshooter. You needed to complete at least one before they even let you access the help desk info. It concludes. Nothing noteworthy. That Jumbo Tunes app had been loaded with weakness incidents forever. You hover over the call button, and your vision freezes. You straighten up in your seat, trying to nudge your eyes to move. The numbers start to flicker and dance, creeping up into crevices of your mind. Your vision moves on its own, bending and shattering into new shapes. Like daggers, the sharp edges of that mysterious emblem bleeds and claws its way across your eyes. You cry out as the wires sear your eye sockets, yet only an empty carriage answers. Your own pain echoes back to you. Satya has a point. I wouldn't want them to know I'd be passing out due to hot cyborgs and be too flushed. Yeah, that probably can't be good for business. Good for the cock, but not good for business. Your knees buckle and bend, and you grasp at your scalp. Everything spins, twists, turns. Only one thought remains. This was not a random occurrence. Someone wanted your vision vulnerable and was ready to hurt you to keep it that way. But why you? Why now? Sick and convulsing, you lose track of time and place as the world around you grows abstract. The lights in the carriage flicker and darken, leaving you alone, now fully at the mercy of your blurring vision. Before you can even comprehend it, you fall to the floor and everything goes dark. You feel like you're being moved. Slowly but surely the world stills, and it fills with a thick, tar-like scent. Coughing yourself awake, you find yourself in a dark, dust-filled room. A single screen hums from the corner. It spreads a sharp, unpleasant glow, casting its lonely light over what seemed to be some sort of storage facility. Somewhat unsteady, you push yourself off the cold concrete floor and take in your surroundings. Aside from a droning headache, you at least feel unharmed. Behind you is a rusted steel door, and as far as you can tell, the only entry and exit. At first, you gently push down on the handle. Upon finding it stuck, you resort to a couple of rougher tugs. Keep it together. Whoever did this wanted you alive. You turn back to the screen, intentionally placed to grab your attention. Upon approaching it, you take in its dated nature. A computer, seemingly intended to be portable. It looks heavy. Each button had at least one letter on it. Imagine keeping track of all that. For a moment, you find yourself grateful for the simplicity of the vision, until you remember how you ended up here. Pushing the screen back a bit, you squint your sore eyes down at its contents. A mess of blueprints, documents, and pictures. A list of projects. One is bolded, labeled Eden. No one can know about what happens here tonight. A shudder runs down your back. It had been quiet like a grave in here, and you had not heard the door move. You snap around. Smoke dances around you, giving sense to the room's scent. It lingers heavily in the air, forming a dense trail that leads to a single glowing point. Hey, it's that guy! If you run, if you speak, I will know, and I will kill you. You will have two options. Refuse, and you will return to your current life. Safe for now, but helpless to stop what is coming. We will wipe any trace of our existence from your mind. We have never met, and we will not meet again. Stunned into silence, you fight to still your anxious heart. The massive silhouette leaning against the wall waits patiently. Eventually, you regain your voice. And what's the other one? First, tell me this. What do you know about technocrats? This guy isn't making any sense. First you'd seen of any of them in person was yesterday. If you wanted money, couldn't this guy shake down someone who mattered? No way you could say that, though. You were locked in a room with an unknown location with a guy that made it pretty clear he was willing to kill you. It wasn't nearly as appealing as those porn videos made it seem. Well, they're here to guide us. Each one has their own domain. Some are more important than others, and whatever they say about their thing goes. The biggest boobs are on their way. Oh yeah. We seen this guy earlier. He crushed someone under his arm earlier. They are nothing but a blight. Providing easy answers for a society that has stopped asking questions. They trap us in false securities, a garden they cannot contain. To what end? The war is over. They'd like to fight back the system, big guy. You had a suspicion this guy was some kind of radical. Those were rare nowadays. That explained the secrecy. Pardon the caution. There he is. The man behind the bar. Wait, you're that bartender. A facade. Our way of staying in touch with associates and gathering intel in plain sight. Call me Bane. I contact you on the behalf of Einherjar. You knew that name. Calling him a radical was putting it lightly. Riot supply lines, explosives, assassination. Commonly referred to as a terrorist organization, Einherjar had plagued New Vika since the war. Yet no one had been able to track their location, nor a single key member. Their cause was singular, death to all technocrats. We seek your assistance with assassinating Gaius Regis. You must be in some kind of nightmare, seconds away from waking up in a cold sweat. What business did you even have thinking such a thing was possible? A technocrat is untouchable by definition, and those who do not think so were dealt swiftly with of their massive personal security force. Someone like Gaius would have access to the very best in bodily implications too, likely above any definition of street legal. You had no chance. You're joking. Do I look like the killing type? His death will be by my hand. Think for a moment. Why would a technocrat bother with a small middle-level shop? They already have the very best personnel on hand. Why would he take such an interest in you? Put his most prized, most advanced project in your care. He's scouting talent, assembling a team, and judging by the amount of hires over the last years, he has big plans. Wait, you could get a job working for the Gaius Regis? The pay must be something else. Maybe you could actually move to the Middle District. We ask you to use your unique position as a person of interest to get close to him. Seek access to his personal test facility, and collect any and all project data you can get your hands on. Your role in this will end before the assassination takes place. Follow my lead, and none will ever know of your involvement. But why me? Surely there are more qualified people out there. Gaius has grown carefree with his control. Hardware and software, produced quicker than his engineers can handle. His latest collaboration with NWWA is just another example. I will speak truthfully. We chose you because we have the upper hand. The brand's hastily designed nature has left it freely mixing its signals with the poor security of his other project, the Vision. Accessing your data, tracking you, and seeing through your eyes, it was hardly a challenge, as was remotely frying your circuits to bring you here while manipulating your position to show you as your apartment. Oh, I messed that one up. Without your knowledge, some incredibly dangerous people had gained complete control over you. No wonder he was so confident. Honestly, if he wants to convince me, either he or Gaius needs to step up their hot tittying for me to join his side. Even if you refused and went back to your life like he was offering, nothing was stopping them from using you as human spyware. The only difference was this. Either you had some control over your life, or none at all. That's not much of a choice. Either way, this is gonna kill me. I won't let that happen. Regardless of your choice, I will protect you with my life. Besides, one other thing makes you an ideal candidate for our mission. The smoky glow is lifted from between his lips, and he steps forward, planting his massive hands firmly on his knees as he slumps down in a worn old couch. You can't help your gaze from trailing down as the sparse light casts over his seated form. Oh shit! Large, open wounds reveal it all. Flesh, wires, veins, and metal, intertwined into a grotesque display of technology at its most invasive. A fully integrated skeleton model, all the power and adaptability of a high-level combat prosthetics, completely concealed into the human body. You had only heard of these. Highly illegal and famous for the insane mortality rate of even a partial implant. All of them, custom made to the client's body. How did he even get his hands on something like this? And just how much of him had been changed? Our people cannot find the issue behind my delayed reactions. It has already cost us. Point taken. You cautiously approach him. Even while seated, he dwarfs you completely. Queasy from the graphical nature of his damages, you push aside the haphazardly spread folds of skin and muscle. Oh god. Investigating the machinery beneath, you quickly find his model to be an extreme of even the extremes. A massive stack of overtuned, beastly hydraulics. None of them were shielded. This was shredding the inside of his body. What kind of sadist had made this? How are you even alive? Irrelevant. Can you source the damage? Swallowing dryly, you succeed in keeping your lunch down. What hope did you have with no tools on hand? Although... a familiar stray wire holding his elbow catches your eye. Many military-grade prosthetics required additional nerve connection points due to their larger size and power. You cannot reach it from here. Eyeing one of the pliers used to keep his wound apart, you throw a glance up at Bane while closing your fist around the handle. He doesn't move. You rip it out of his flesh. Not even a flinch. Guess he was nothing in comparison. Reattaching the frayed nerve takes only a few tries. Your hands are slippery, and his blood joins with your sweat. Finally, it slips into the practically invisible connection point. He exhales with relief, another trail of dense smoke escaping his lungs. Moving his damaged wrist before you even manage to step back, you bear first-hand witness to the sickening churning of machinery in his open wound. Good. Leave the rest to us. You had no problem with that. The pervasive scent of iron had you wanting to leave the room as fast as possible. Have you thought of our request? You had been doing a little more than thinking. It had only been 2 days since you started working at Vika Cybernetica, and you had already met all sorts of people. Stray was definitely one of the closest to the technocrat. You get the impression he may not be entirely happy with that. There was no route more direct to Gaius' side. Uriel was a strange one too. With how many models he had been exposed to, maybe he had some connections to the trial projects at Gaius' facility? My partner Hawk made all the music himself too. I'm so proud of him. Well, that's awesome. That's so cool. My partner and I are one day hoping to get into making visual novels as well, so that's really sweet to see. I don't understand much about how game dev works, but I think it's so cool they both made all this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I don't know anything about it either. I'm just a writer. My partner understands all the technical stuff and whatnot because she's an artist and she does coding and stuff like that. And he's told me some things, but it largely goes over my head. I just kind of stick to writing. And then there was Bane. If you were stuck with him regardless, you might as well get closer. Being more directly backed by Inheriar can actually be safer than doing this single-handedly. Maybe you don't need to be alone about this. You need a partner in crime. Well, the most sensible choice is Bane. But the sexy choice is Stray, and that's the one I'm leaning towards. So I'm gonna go with Stray. Thank you so much for playing through the demo of Technocrat. I hope you had a good time. Full release will be available, well, at some point. Please consider staying in touch through our socials. We post regular updates about our projects as often as possible, so that's how you will know how to get it. We are a two-person team with multiple projects going on at the same time. Your interest, feedback, and patience means the world to us. Nice! We did it! Oh, that's so cool. I totally understand, too. I've been wanting to try making a visual novel at some point, too, but alas, the capitalism grind set. Yeah, I've made one. My partner made it. I think it was through Renpy. And I wrote for it. And that was years ago, though. We've been working on other stuff on the side that we're hoping to get somewhere on shortly. My partner just finished making a motivation tool that he put into his community, which is the thing that you see at the lower right there. He coded all of that. So that little guy drawing is my partner. That's his character Runt. And that's what I use on my stream to measure how long I've been doing things and whatnot. But yeah, thank you guys so much for giving me the opportunity to check out this demo. This was really cool, and I really enjoyed playing it. I'm looking forward to playing more of this game for sure. Love the character design choices. It's very, very, very gay. And just, I really like the, I love the artistic backgrounds, and you can tell that there's a lot of love put into everything in this game. So that was Technocrat. If you want to check out Technocrat, you can check it out here. Give the page on itch.io a follow. There's some socials listed at the bottom too. You can check those out. Just to stay in contact about this this project and some other projects that Vertebrae might be working on in the future. Thank you so much again for giving me the opportunity to do this. I would be happy to do. I'd be happy to do another one anytime. We'll definitely be checking out Technocrat whenever it comes out in full, and I hope that some people in my audience will do so too. And that is pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for coming to my stream. I hope that you had fun. If you're new here, I do have a variety of places that you can check more of me out at. That Discord link, the first link, is my community Discord. You can go there to get stream notifications, chat with my community, get to learn more things about me and stuff of that nature if you're interested. That second link is my Blue Sky. It is heavily not safe for work, but if you like latex-clad dog boys, that's where you'll find them. Ko-fi.com/domiwoof is how you can support the channel if you want to do that. Totally optional, but every little bit does help me. Throne.me/u/domiwoof is my wish list. You can check that out there. I added No Sleep for Kaname Date the other day. If somebody is feeling generous enough to get that, I will happily stream the fuck out of it, because as we all know, I am absolutely obsessed with Kaname Date in a way that can only be described as carnal. Linktree/domiwoof is where you can view everything else that I do. That is my writing. That is some of the stuff that I do with regards to like question and answers. If you want to ask me questions about Dom or my content or just other things, you can. And don't forget that we have a zine out. We have a zine. It's 40 plus pages of extremely hot dog boy content. My partner has done all the art on that. He's worked very hard over the years, amassing a massive collection of Dommy art that we released in a zine in part, and I have done the writing for it, so it is a collaborative project. You can check it out at that link there. Give it a go. It has some pretty good reviews, so if you haven't checked it out, you probably should. And I also take commissions, so if you want to check out my commissions, you can check me out there. If you want a sexy story with Dom and one of your OCs, I can do that, as well as safe for work stuff. I've been working on adding more stuff to that commissions list, but it's very slow because I have very little energy, so it's coming, but it's not there yet, just an FYI. Okay, that's going to be everything for me, so I'm going to take a break for a few hours, and then later we'll be back with Trails Through Daybreak 2, so I hope that you will come and join me for that. Bye-bye, subbies!